Week 5 in our fundamental series. Since January has that extra week, and typically we'll have 4 weeks to work on something, I thought this would be a wonderful opportunity to switch over to a yin practice, which, especially for winter, the theme of winter is really about rest when you look at nature. And since we are nature, it's really good for us to slow down and rest too. So this class will be our first restorative in yin. Still very beginner friendly, just the fundamentals of how do we even start to let go and relax. And if you want to dive deeper into it, first it's the last week to register for the winter retreat if you want more personal help and any of the one-on-one sessions, which are deeply discounted this year, which is very exciting. That is closing next. Oh, by the time you see this, today is the last day. So Sunday the 30th is the last day that it's open. That way we can stay in theme with winter, and then it'll be open up next winter too. So if you miss out, no worries. You can reach out to me and still do the one-on-one sessions, just the whole package of the winter retreat. We'll do it again next winter. Otherwise, I'm reading this book for the book club. I'm restarting that this year, which will be hopefully fun instead of doing one book a month, which was a little overwhelming sometimes with all that is going on with life and work and coronavirus and children and all of the things. We'll do one per season, much more attainable. So we're doing The Power of Surrender, which is really how to bring yin yoga into your everyday life. It's not about yoga, but it is about the power of resting and allowing. And I haven't read the whole book, so I can't give you more than that yet. But we'll meet up near spring, around the spring equinox, to talk about it, and that'll be our book club for the season of winter if you want to participate. As far as today, welcome, hello, thank you for being here. My name is Melissa from Melissa Borden Yoga, if I didn't say that already. The only thing you need for class is either a towel, a big beach towel, or a blanket rolled up the shape of your spine. And we'll use that for one of our poses. If you have a pillow or a couple pillows nearby, you can grab those as well, and I'll let you know when to use them. But anything that is the length of your spine, maybe a little bit longer and a little bit raised up, would be perfect. Thank you for being here, and now let's rest. All right. This is my fourth try because I kept veering off into the topic of conscious communication and how to communicate effectively and not hold stress from a very stressful conversation. So if that topic interests you at all, let me know in the comments. I can do a whole video on it, but I wanted to keep it out of yin yoga because for today, we are just here to let go, which is how it got started, because it's how do you let go of that stress? Which that is the answer. Talking about size. So we're going to start our practice just in any comfortable seat, butt bones ground down, relax through the shoulders, have a super, super deep breath in through your nose. Open up your mouth, breathe out in a sigh, or some kind of deep breath out. Let's do 2 more. Full breath in through the nose. Feeling the lungs expand, belly expand. Open up the mouth, even if it feels a little bit forced or feels more shallow than you like. Just try and know that that is enough. One more on your own. And then just noticing how your legs, your thighs, your butt bones feel. Using the inhale breath to lift up a little through the heart, crown of your head. We're just going to spend a few moments here centering in on our breath before we shift into any of our yin or restorative postures for today. Relaxing through the shoulders, the jaw. Seeing if you can naturally keep that lifted spine just from your inhale. And using your exhale to let the shoulders relax down. It's already making me sleepy. And while we're here just present with our own breath, I wanted to talk just for a moment on the size that we make in yoga. And that's how I went off into the the separate discussion of conscious communication a lot, which I'll save it for another video. But if you ever think about how when you are having a difficult conversation, or maybe you're in a traffic jam or something frustrating happens, and we naturally sigh, right? Get frustrated and we have a deep sigh. One of the reasons for that is it is our natural way to remove stress. For yoga, when we are doing that deep sigh, even if we make ourselves have the deep breath, it's letting our brain know, okay, I don't need to hold this stress anymore. So for example, if we're in a stretch, which we'll do soon, but for now, just stay present with your tall spine. Let's say we're feeling a deep stress and it's bringing up even the slightest bit of tension. And so we're feeling that tension in our thighs, which often is due to a stored emotion. Maybe it's due to running a lot or lifting weights. It can be from a lot of things, but often we do store emotions in our tissues. And so when we focus on that and we have a deep breath in, almost like the deep breath is like a scavenger, it's combing through everything, looking for that tension. And then we do a big sigh. It lets you actually release that energy and that tension from the body. So it's super productive to have the deep breaths out. It's why we keep coming back to it in our vinyasa practice or our hatha practice. And why we will use them today in yin as well. Let's have 2 more breaths just to notice your own breath. Just to feel what it feels like to breathe in and engage through expand through the rib cage. And breathe out to soften and relax. And then coming to make sure your butt bones, you can even pick up your glutes and move them out of the way so that your butt bones are down. Bringing the soles of your feet together with your knees fanned wide. This will be our first yin posture. So if you want to bring your feet as close as kind of comfortable, but you can feel the stretch a little. We don't want to overstretch in this because for yin, we'll be here for a few minutes. So it might take a bit. And you want to be to a place where you can feel the stretch, but it's not too much. You'll be able to stay and breathe comfortably. Now, if your legs are really tight, you can always move up to against a wall for some support, and then bring your feet in and just the weight of your hands to gently open. Even if your feet are way out here, or maybe you need some pillows underneath the knees, and then you can feel it in your thighs without doing anything stressful on your knees. Wherever you need to be is perfectly okay. So of course, listen to your body first and foremost. And once you do find that position, wherever you want to go, get a good place for your hands. Then take another deep breath and lengthen through the spine. Even if you're sitting up against the wall, find that length in your chest. And on the exhale, start to shift a little bit forward. So for yin, we come into the breath really, really deeply. I almost want to say specifically, because we're focused on really how is our breath feeling, and can we bring this our main focus, so that even though we're holding the posture, the breath in, we might feel these subtle movements, whether it's the stretch in your legs, even your low back might be stretched. Maybe it's a subtle lifting of the chest. And then the breath out, we start to find little pockets to let go. Where can we relax around the shoulders, the jaw? Where can we sink in and really surrender to wherever that tightness or stretch is, versus fighting and pushing and really trying to go further for the sake of just, of what? I don't know the answer to that. Don't fight and don't force. This is different than our active flexibility work, which we'll have a month just on flexibility too. But for now, we're just feeling and allowing however your body is to be. And then using the breath like the most subtle invitation that maybe on the exhale, if it wants to shift a little bit more, it can. Staying with any sensations that are present. Relaxing the jaw and the shoulders time and time again. And if you notice each time I say that, you're like, whoa, my shoulders are by my ears. Oh no. That happens often. And that's okay because we are in a chronic, especially the last few years, such a chronic stress state, right? And we're in fight or flight, we're protective. And so reminding our body it's safe to relax. It is safe to be in your body. It is safe to be in your body. And every time we let our body know with a deep breath, okay, it's safe to be me. It's safe to be in my body. We relax the shoulders another layer. And we keep coming back and coming back. And that's why we say practice. Full breath in, full breath out. 5 more breaths here. And if you notice on the exhales, you get that invitation to go a little bit further. You can bring your forearms down or wherever you want to go. But again, you're not forcing or fighting or trying to be somewhere your legs aren't ready for. Sit with wherever they are. Appreciate wherever they are. Even noticing what thoughts come up. Even if it's like, I don't want to appreciate where my legs are. I want them to be somewhere else. Notice. Say, okay, that's okay. Can I come back to my breath? Can I come back to my breath in whatever sensations I'm feeling? One more deep breath in. Deep breath out. Come on up. Using your hands to guide your knees back up, feet together, and then legs out long. Just rack your ankles side to side for a moment. Just let go of any tension in the outer thighs. The IT band runs from your knee to your outer hip. And sometimes that gets a little bit tight during that stretch, so give it a little wiggle. Full breath in. Full breath out. And then the spine blanket is next. So roll up your towel, your blankets. Maybe you don't have a blanket and you just have a big pillow you can lay on. That will work too. Now set it along your mat or mat space, depending where you're practicing. Mine is a very squishy blanket, so I don't think it's going to hold up super well, but we'll try. If you have a low back issue where it hurts to do a curve, you can put your butt on the blanket. Otherwise, I recommend your butt off the blanket so you get that little lift, and then spine down. Oh my God, this feels good. Your spine along the blanket for a really subtle, don't worry if you're not propped up too high. Like I said, my blanket squished a lot, but it's unbelievably comfortable. We might be here for a while. So our main goal is that subtle opening in the chest and lift for the spine as we do all that computer work, right? All that hunched over motion, whether it's dishes, our phones, even if you're reading a book or playing with your kids or doing all of these beautiful things. Staring at moss. If you're watching on Instagram, I've been looking at moss a lot. And so I'm like folded over on the ground and just staring at the moss. And so everything we do is such a folded over position. This can be really great. Your legs are going to be wherever your body wants to put them. You might have legs out to the side or out long, feet out to the side like a shavasana. You can do cross-legged, which is a bit gentler version of what we just did. Pillows or more blankets can be propped under your knees. Or same position we just warmed up for. So your feet can be together, knees wide. And again, you can have pillows underneath your knees to prop up if it's too intense on your inner thighs or too intense on your knees. I think for me, I'm going to do just cross-legged, which is a bit gentler version of that. Oh yeah, this is nice. And then one hand to the belly, one can be on your chest or upper belly, or palms out to the side if it doesn't feel too vulnerable. So the reason palms to the side face up is great is it's rotating your shoulders open. So we're getting a really subtle but lovely stretch across the pec muscles and these collarbone muscles that kind of pull our shoulders forward. And now we're giving them a chance to relax. When we turn our hand open, it rotates that shoulder open. Relaxing again through the back of the neck, the head. Find wherever is most comfy for you if you need to adjust at all. Have that deep, deep breath in. Open up your mouth, breathe out. And then feeling again into your breath. Any physical sensations, you may not feel a stretch here, or you might, but even noticing that subtle opening in the upper back, shoulders. If your blanket is a little bit shorter, it's okay if you have your head on the ground too. Maybe your towel didn't do the entire length of your spine, and that's no problem. If you do need your head supported and your blanket doesn't make it, just grab a pillow. And coming back to the breath. If you're using the playlist from below, can you feel the music? Even if you aren't playing with music, can you notice any sounds around you? And can you notice, without labeling the sounds, just hearing them, at the same time as you're staying focused and present on your breath? I'm using every exhale as an invitation to let a little stress go. You might even imagine as you breathe in, like we talked about that comb, like the scan. You use the breath in as like the scanner. You think of like a metal detector, but a tension detector. And then if you find, even if you think you're imagining it, just trust whatever pops into your mind. If you find a spot where there is tension, can you use the exhale and imagine that tension releasing? Maybe you imagine that spot around your shoulder, for example, getting a little more expansive and open. Can you relax through the jaw? This is a great, really great position to be in right before you sleep as well. You can do this and the next one actually. You could do this whole class. You can pick and choose any of these. right before bedtime to help you sleep really deep. So we let go of that stress and tension from the day, from the week, from our life. And surrender into noticing and appreciating however our body feels. And speaking of feeling, bringing your awareness to your palms, seeing if you can feel the energy in your hands. It might feel like a little tingly sensation, a really slight buzz. We talked about this in the Energy 101, and really what that is just calming down enough to feel your own energy. And if you don't feel it, that's okay. Just imagine, what would it feel like if I could feel a sensation in my hands? And it might come and it might not. Just be present with whatever you do feel. Maybe along your spine, your legs, even how your nose feels every time you breathe. Dropping heavier onto the blanket every breath out. Exhale again to drop heavier through your spine, your shoulders, your jaw. Even feeling the back of your head get so weighted down. Giving over to fully relax. One more breath out where you are. And then if this feels so good that you don't want to move, if you can reach this, you can pause it and stay as long as you want, or just stay as long as you want anyway. And use the breath prompts in the next pose for this pose. Otherwise, when you're ready, you're going to make your way. I don't want to move yet. I'll come back to this before bed. You're going to make your way off the blanket. And feet wide, knees tapped together. And now bringing one hand to your lower belly, one to your chest, and just notice how your spine feels flat now. There's not a good or bad or right or wrong, just noticing. The next pose we're going to do will be our legs either up a wall, or if you don't have a wall space clear or nearby, you can put your feet up on the couch, or you're up against your bed, on a chair, whatever you want to do, just so that you don't need to hold them up with your muscles and they can be relaxed. So you can just set your feet on a chair, however feels comfortable. If you are by a wall, you're going to prop your feet straight up on the wall. And butt can be pretty close to the wall, kind of far. That's really up to you. Whatever is most comfortable for you. Arms out to the side for the same idea as when we had our palms face up. We're doing that again so that we get that shoulder chest opening. This class is making me so sleepy. If your feet have trouble staying up on the wall, you can cross one ankle over however you want to be that's comfortable. And as relaxed as you can manage. Coming back into the sensations of the body. For this one, we might feel a draining effect from the ankles and feet and toes, all the way down the legs. Like you're allowing gravity now to do that scan for tension. And any tension you find, just shoo, 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 into the ground. And using that breath to allow your body to sink deeper and more relaxed onto the mat. If you don't have space around you, or maybe there's kids running around or wild pets, you can always bring one hand to your belly, one to your chest. And this can be really calming for the nervous system as well. Sometimes when our body can feel our body parts on it, our hands touching, it can be very calming to the nervous system. Partly in the sense of, I know where my parts are and I feel safe. But also, if we think about when we have an injury and we naturally will put our hand over it, or even if we have a bad cut and we don't want to touch it and we put our hand like around it, we're like, oh, I must protect. But really, how we talked about in Energy 101 is we have this natural healing capability. You don't need to be Reiki certified. You are energy. And so that energy will always come a little bit from our hands. And so it's kind of like giving yourself a little mini Reiki session. Even on a super subtle level, if you are intentional with it or attuned, you're still going to get that nervous system benefit. One isn't necessarily better than the other. Really, whatever your intuition wants to do with your hands, I would trust that. Arms out to the side is great too, even just to let your mind know, I am safe. Seeing what kind of sensation you feel again in your leg, the draining sensation, or any tingling in your feet. Relaxing again through the jaw. Even the space between your eyebrows. Do 6 more breaths. Each breath out, reminding your body it's okay to let go of tension. And that's really all it is. If we think in terms of what would be best to share with somebody who's never practiced Yin, which is, if you haven't practiced, or even if you have, please utilize the comments below and let me know what questions you have. But my main advice would be, how relaxed can you allow yourself to be? And how much can you keep coming back to the exhale to re-drop through the shoulders, to re-relax through the hands, the feet? It's a constant practice with how stressed our lives have been lately. We're pulling ourselves out of fight and flight, out of chronic fight and flight, into a more relaxed nervous system, into the rest and digest. We have digestion issues. This could be why. Could be a plethora of different things. If we're not calming down our nervous system enough to allow the correct digestive stuff to be happening. I'm not going to pretend to know exactly what happens, but I know that the fight and flight pauses our digestion. But then we keep eating. And so it doesn't digest as well as it could as if we were relaxed. And if anybody out there heard that and thought, oh no, I need to skip a meal, please do not skip a meal. Do not intend that at all. Just add in some practices to remove stress. Maybe take mindful breaths and be present while you're eating. That can help as well. Eat all the meals. All of them. My niece was really cute, and it was something about pumpkins. It was a couple Halloweens ago. My sister sent me a video, and she asked her how many there were, and her answer was, all of them. And so that's why I said all the meals, because I thought of that, like, all of them. Have all of them. And it's really cute. Two more breaths. Finishing the exhale. Taking your time. And same as the last pose, if you want to stay longer, stay longer. Listen to your body. If it feels good and you have the time, oh my gosh, stay. Otherwise, knees to chest. Do a slight rock side to side. Another deep breath out if you need. And then wherever is going to be comfortable for you to have a Shavasana, which is our laying flat, feet out to the corners, one hand chest and belly again, or palms face up. I'm going to do the hands on my heart and belly. And make sure your shoulders are wide spread across the mat. Your hips are relaxed and comfortable. You can always prop a pillow or a massage bolster or your blanket underneath your knees, which is super good for your low back if you don't have to muscularly hold up your legs. You can try that. And then once more, falling back into the breath. And the intention that every exhale allows us to let go of some stress. If you get stressful situations popping up in your mind, this is a way that we relieve stress. So if you come and do this practice again and again, which I hope that you do, each time you get a thought, a stressful thought, it is your body releasing the stress, getting it out of your system. So just notice that thought and say, oh, okay, thanks. And you can wrap it in a little bubble or package it in a little imaginary gift. Say thank you and be on your way. Often insomnia, when we lay down in bed and then suddenly we're wired with anxious thoughts, is because we don't give ourselves quiet time like this to process that stress and thoughts. So your body looks for any opportunity when you're still. And unfortunately, that can happen when we're falling asleep or when we wake up and are bombarded by those thoughts. So these practices like meditation or yin yoga is a beautiful time to allow your body to experience this stress relieving. And then when we're done and we wake up more focused, more present, more calm. Let me know how this goes for you, if this actually works for you or not. Pay attention to how you sleep tonight after doing this. Remember, if it doesn't work right away, you're not doing anything wrong. Just breathing and being here and being present with your body is all it takes to start. I shared something this morning to Instagram about how you are enough as you are just for existing. Just for existing. Which, how freeing is that? There's nothing else you need to do or be. You keep showing up to this yoga to get back to the core essence of who we are without the stress and anxiety and social conditioning and disruptive, or not even disruptive, but disempowering beliefs, which we all have, and that's okay. The more we come back to this practice and quiet down and feel how we're feeling, the more we get to that peaceful place. Take 3 more breaths just to be here. Before you come out of it, just noticing again how your feet, your toes, how everything feels. How do your fingers feel? How do your fingertips feel? And the palm pads, your thumbs. How are your wrists? Noticing any and all sensations you can. One more really, really massive, super massive breath in. And a deep breath, open mouth, sigh out. Starting to rock your head side to side. A little movement around the neck. shoulders. Take your arms up, straight in the air, wrists stacked over shoulders. Just stretch straight up. You can stretch with your toes. And then one arm crosses over. Drop your arms into a hug. Your feet fall wide again. Squeeze a little bit through the core to protect the low back. The belly button draws into the spine. Walk your feet up. Feet wide, knees together. Pause here for a moment. Or again, if you have time and you want to stay, stay. When you are ready, taking your time. Actually, there's nowhere to go. We're not in a live class together. No one needs the room after this. So you can stay laying down if you want. If you want to sit up, sit up. However is comfortable. It's a great thing about home yoga is you don't have to roll up your mat right away and get in your car and drive home. If you want to stay laying, stay laying. And even if you are in the position before, perfect. However you are, take a moment for yourself to notice all that you are, to honor all that you are, and appreciate yourself for taking the time to do a practice like this, to just let go and just relax. And we notice, honor, and appreciate one another. Thank you so much for practicing this with me. If you want to come back to it again and again, amazing. If you want more classes like this, let me know. It's great to do before bed, at least once a week or so, to have time to just decompress. So I hope you liked it and hope you have a very restful rest of your day.